Hi everyone, I am Brittany, the Cosmic Lunar Soul. Welcome to my channel for everybody who is new, and for my subscribers, welcome back. Today we have another box opening. This is the Lord of the Rings Tarot deck. This is by a lovely artist called Fix Art. I will make sure to have all of her information in the description box. But this deck is just a classic 78 card tarot deck, and it retails for $42. This is all Lord of the Rings based. So let's go ahead and get into everything. So usually I start off by talking about the box. There's really not much to talk about. This is a very simple tuck box. It has a cute little opening here, but to be honest, there's no frills about the box. It's just a standard, plain, easygoing box. There's no official guidebook. What came with it was a list of the cards and the images on them. So instead of actually talking about like the meanings, it's just a printout of the cards and just a brief description of who or what is being portrayed on each card. So yeah, there's really not much of anything crazy here. I don't think this will actually fit in the box. The deck fits quite tightly. So why don't we just go ahead and get right into the cards. So as I said, this is just a traditional box. And here are the cards. I'm going to move this out of the way because there's nothing really pretty to talk about. So we have the cards here. And let me actually flip to the back so we can talk about the design. So the design is reversible, it looks like, and it's quite lovely. It's this pale reddish with a beige outline, I believe. And the cards are a really good size. I can get my hand around it quite nicely, and then you can see the images on the front. So I actually gave my Instagram a poll, and they very much wanted me to do a talk through of the images on the card instead of just my normal silent flip through. So I am going to move the camera and we can talk about the cards. All right, here we have the Fool. This is surprisingly Peregrine took when he is touching the orb that Gandalf is protecting. I was kind of shocked that it didn't just start off with Bilbo taking an adventure. I feel like that would have made a lot more sense. For the Magician, we have Saruman. I think that's kind of a standard. It would have been Saruman or Gandalf, right? I love Galadriel as the High Priestess. She's just so... She's exactly who I think of when I think of the High Priestess. Here, let's look at these together. Here we have Arwen and Aragorn together, and I really just love that this card pairs together like this. It just really shows the connection between the Empress and the Emperor, and also the connection between these two characters, and that they have the same expression. I think that's really beautifully done. For the Hierophant, we have Gandalf the Grey, which is very appropriate in my opinion, as he is the one that is guiding them and teaching them along the way, and is oftentimes the mentor in a lot of the situations. Realize I'm going to flip these cards upside down so they're still in order. Here we have the Lovers. So this is so cool. This is a photo, or this is Gimli and Legolas, and they are standing in between two entrances. On the right, we have the entrance that the elves are going through, and on the left, we have the entrance the dwarves are going through. And I think this card really depicts the depth of the Lovers card, where you have decisions that you have to make, and not everything is about romance. It's not about love, like that sense of just trying to find a partner. There's so much more to it than that. Here we have the Chariot. I believe this is I think this is Aemir. Let me see. Yes, this is Aemir and the Riders of Rohan. Yeah, I love that. Oh, here we have Strength. I really love this card as Strength because this is when Frodo decides to be the bearer of the One Ring and take it to Mordor to destroy it, and the amount of strength that it takes to do that. Here we have the Hermit, which is an Ent. Let me see if this is a specific Ent. Okay, so this is Fangorn, and I believe, and please, if you know more about Lord of the Rings lore than I do, because I admit I'm only a filthy movie watcher, I've not read the books, but I believe Fangorn is the one that helps the cousins, Peregrine and the other one. I can't think of his name right now. I believe he's the one that helps them to Isengard and helps them along the way. But that is kind of what I think of when I think of the Hermit, you know, just the one that sort of can be a guiding force because he provides a lot of introspection and allows you to think more inwardly. The Wheel of Fortune is the One Ring. And I think this really just depicts what the Wheel of Fortune card is, because while the One Ring can be very enticing, aka good fortune can be very enticing, it's also a bit of a catch-22, you know, so sometimes something might seem good, but only on the surface. I think it adds a lot of depth to the Wheel of Fortune card. Here is Justice. Justice is... This is Theoden. I can kind of see that. Here is the Hanged Man. And this is Faramir. I really love Faramir as the Hanged Man because it really paints the picture of his story of realizing his worth, really. This is also one of my favorite scenes in probably all three movies. This is the Death card, and it portrays Boromir dying to protect the hobbits so they can get away. And what you'll notice going through, this is probably one of the few cards that depicts orcs or Uruk-hai. So I just think that's interesting. Here is Sam mixing up a pot as Temperance. Very Sam. The Devil. And this is the Wraith King, I believe. Yes, the Witch King of Angmar. So this is the Nazgul King, and so I do like this as the Devil. I'm just not sure yet how I feel about it all the way, but I do like this card. I love Sauron's Tower as the Tower. So this is Barad-dûr. I always just lovingly call it Sauron's Tower, but everybody knows what I'm talking about. But I do like this as the Tower. Even though it doesn't quite match the meaning, it's still on the nose as being a tower, you know? Here is the Star. It looks like Legolas shooting down something. Let's see what we have. Yes, this is Legolas shooting something down, but it's very interesting because I see the Star generally as hope, but I don't get that vibe from this card. You'll have to let me know what vibe you get from this. Here we have the Moon. I'm not sure about this Moon card. I don't hate it, though. Oh, and this is Eowyn, by the way. Here we have the Sun card. So this is Mary, and my only critique of this card is I wish she was smiling. The Sun card is generally a happy card. Even in reverse, it's still a pretty happy card. So, yeah, I just wish he was smiling in this. He looks a little rather taken aback or concerned even. I love, 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 love this as the Judgment card. This is the ship sailing to the Undying Lands, you know, at the end of the third movie when Bilbo and Frodo leave with the elves. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love this because Judgment is the card of like reckoning and finding that path that you belong on, and I just really do think of this moment when I think of Judgment. Here we have the world. It's actually just a map of Middle Earth. It's pretty classic of a world card. It doesn't really give the vibe of what the world means to me, but it's just traditionally in some of these types of decks that the world card is a map. Here we are getting into the cups. So if you notice, the Major Arcana had this beige border. The cups have more of a grayish border. It's like a gray blue, I guess, more gray. So this is the Ace of Cups, and this is the File of Galadriel. I think that's so cool. It's still has that classic Rider-Waite feel. But yeah, great choice. Here we have the Two of Cups, and this is when Arwen and Aragorn are meeting. Kind of looks like in secret when they are still hiding their relationship or trying to hide their relationship. The cups are not so prevalent in this, but you can see them a little. I'm not sure it's picking up on camera though. Let's see if you can see that a little bit. Here we have the Three of Cups. And this is just general like elves celebrating. Classic Three of Cups card. Cups raised in the air while three women dance around. Very Rider-Waite traditional. Here we have the Four of Cups. So this is Bilbo Baggins, and this is where he's talking about feeling like he's spread too thin. Where he's talking to Frodo and he's explaining how he's tired. What I wish in this card, I love this. I wish one of these cups was sitting next to him and you could see his face. He was flipped over. So whatever his facial expression is, I wish he was facing us and not looking at that cup that is sitting next to him. I would have really liked that for this card. Here we have the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups are portrayed the same way. There are two cups that are upright and three cups that are tilted over, but they are not prevalent in this card. You can kind of see them as that mass right there. So it's very interesting because at first glance, of course, if you get used to the colors of the borders, you kind of know. And then if you see this, but at first glance, this card does not really give me Five of Cups, but I do understand the scene that this is portraying. And this is when they lose Gandalf after going through the mines of Moria. And this is where they're sad, but still have to forge forward. Here we have the Four of Cups, and this is for Bilbo's birthday. This is his birthday celebration. I actually wish this was the Four of Wands card, but I'm sorry, I said Four of Cups. This is the Six of Cups. I wish this was the Four of Wands card, but I do think this is a cool scene. This is the Seven of Cups, and this is the Mirror of Galadriel. This is the mirror she looks into and that you recall from the movie, and she is given choices to make and she resists them and has basically passed the test in that. I kind of like that as the Seven of Cups because the Seven of Cups is being presented with a bunch of choices and decisions, and some of which might not be the best for you. This is the Eight of Cups, and I actually really do like this. This is where the hobbits realize that Gollum betrayed them, and basically, this is when Sam and Frodo are divided and they get into the argument, and Sam goes off on his own. So this is really Sam's Eight of Cups moment. Here we have the Nine of Cups. This is just the barkeep at the bar when Frodo first comes across Aragorn. Just like that, they have some smaller characters in here. Ooh, Ten of Cups. This is the moment where Arwen and Aragorn see themselves with their kid. And it's just the happy family scene, really. Here's the Page of Cups. This is when Faramir is talking to his father. I can't remember his father's name at the moment, but this is where he is just sort of grasping the level of cruelty from his father. And as the Page of Cups, I think that's quite interesting because this is showing that, I think Faramir is the page in this case. There's a level of immaturity that's still happening where he's still seeking his father's approval, and he's still going to him to try to prove himself to him. And then we have the Knight of Cups. This is the first card that I actively dislike. This is where Arwen is offering her pendant to Aragorn, but I simply just don't like this card. I don't like it. It does not give me knight energy at all. Here we have the Queen of Cups. The Queen is actually Celebrian. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I believe that is Legolas's mother. I don't know the book lore very well, but it's an okay Queen of Cups card. And then we have the King of Cups, which is Elrond. So I guess maybe the previous one might have been Arwen's mother. I guess logically making sense of all of this. It's a fine card. All right, we are getting into coins or pentacles. If you notice, the card changed. So we are getting out of gray and into green, which makes a lot of sense because the pentacles are the earth element. So this is the Ace of Coins, and it looks like the hand of I don't know whose hand it is, but I thought that was an onion. It's actually a nut of the Malorn tree. But again, it still has that classic Rider-Waite, just hand reaching out kind of feel. I like that. I wish they didn't have this in the background. It kind of makes it look like two, but this is bold enough that you get the gist. Here we are introduced to Gandalf the White, and this is where he is basically trying to balance his tasks. And classic Rider-Waite style. I like this card. Three of Coins. This one's interesting because the Three of Coins is about collaborating and working together. There are 3 coins portrayed in this card right here. But traditionally, there are only 3 people in the card. So I kind of wish there was one person on like each level here. Maybe that would have been really cool. Or you could see them like passing each other something. Something about this is a little off, but I still like the card. I like the concept of it. 4 of Coins. So what's interesting about this card is this actually is the prevalent meaning I generally get from the 4 of Coins, whether it's reversed or upright. It's just I see the 4 of Coins a lot as being greedy, even though I'm consciously aware it can mean like balance and finding stability. But this depicts Gollum obsessing over the ring. And I really like this because that's not a common interpretation for the Four of Coins as a first instinct. Here we have the Five of Coins. I love this. This is Theoden when he was still under the control of Wormtongue. And I love it because the Five of Coins is about being isolated and trying to seek help and, you know, feeling like you're in poor health and everything like that. And this very much is the perfect scene for that. Here we have the Six of Coins, which is Galadriel giving presents to the Fellowship, specifically Gimli. And the Six of Coins is about being generous, and what a perfect scene for that. The Seven of Coins is Sam tending to the garden. He's doing his job, and that's kind of the very much Seven of Coins vibe. And then we go on to the Eight of Coins. This is, I think this is more book lore. I'm looking at the little cheat sheet here. It says, guided by Anatar, the jewel smiths create rings until they can successfully forge rings of power. Okay, so this is, regardless, the image is what I would expect for the Eight of Coins. What I'm starting to notice is how minuscule the actual like coins and cups, how unimportant they are to the actual image, or just non-existent. Here we have the Nine of Coins, and this is when Sam finally joins Rosie and starts a family, and it's just the happy family card. Another happy family card. This one's interesting, the Ten of Coins. This is when Sauron is defeated after all of the forces for good come together, and basically everybody watching the tower fall. You can see the tower falling in the background. Very interesting card for the Ten of Pentacles, because while this does depict achievement, I don't really get much like wealth or satisfaction out of this card. So very interesting. See how it will read in actual readings. So going into the Page of Coins, this is going pretty far back. This is when Smeagol and Deagle are just out fishing. And this is where they are before Smeagol becomes corrupted by the One Ring and sort of just taking in everything. But I do like that. I've noticed the courts are not, overall, not my favorite. They don't depict the courts in the way that I would like them to. But I think that maybe intuitively could help me as a reader grow and become better, I would hope. This is Farmer Maggot tending to his field, his crop, whatever these plants are. Just remember him because Mary and Peregrine would raid his stash a lot. Again, no night energy here. Although if you know Farmer Maggot, you get why he's probably depicted as the knight. Here we have Goldberry. I don't know who that is. I assume it's someone from a book. Queen of Coins, depicted similarly to the Queen of Cups. And then we have Tom Bombadil. I've heard that name, but I don't remember who that is. If you remember this stuff, comment below, let me know. But again, standard king for this deck. Alright, getting into the wands, and you'll notice the border has sort of reddened a bit. This is like a muted red color. Let me flip this cheat sheet over so I know who or what is on each card. Alright. But we do all know this is Gandalf's staff before he became Gandalf the White. This is Gandalf the Grey's staff. And then we have Gandalf and Saruman's wands crossing. And I'm not sure. This gives me very Two of Swords vibes and not at all Two of Wands vibes. But I do like the concept. I think it's arty, if nothing else. Here we have the Three of Staves. This one depicts Gandalf waiting for his rescue atop of Saruman's tower. And I like that, actually. The staves are, again, less prominent. It's starting to become less prominent, but I think staves are going to be the most prominently displayed of the suits. We'll see how swords look. Four of Staves. This one is the card that I wish was Bilbo's birthday. This one depicts the fellowship being formed. And to be honest, it's not a joyous moment, so I don't really see this as the... I mean, it's not that it's not joyous. It was just a task of necessity. So, and nobody in this looks happy. Look at the faces. So, not my favorite. Here we have the Five of Staves. This is when Elrond tells Isildur to throw the ring into the pits of Mordor, but he does not. I feel like there are better scenes to have been had for the Five of Staves. Something with more outer conflict happening, especially because in traditional Rider-Waite, it's basically 5 people with the 5 staves fighting with each other. And there's so many fight scenes in The Lord of the Rings that this could have been something way different. I could have totally seen this as the Five of Swords, though, from Isildur's perspective. We have the Six of Staves. This is Aragorn and Arwen's wedding, I believe. Oh, it's the coronation and celebration of Aragorn. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. We have the Seven of Staves. This is the hobbits when they were being celebrated by everyone for having basically defeated Sauron and Saruman. But again, I wish this had been the Ten of Wands. This doesn't really give me Seven of Wands energy. This is more like, I see this, I really wish this was Ten of Wands. The Eight of Wands is actually classic Rider-Waite style. And then we have the Nine of Wands, which is, this is, I believe, Aragorn talking to the troops before their fight. Let me see which one it is. Yeah, it's just the final battle, and it's Aragorn giving his speech to like a wary army before their final battle. And I do like this as the Nine of Wands, just because of the courage, trying to give him hope. You know, the hopeful speech before a battle makes a lot of sense. Here is the Ten of Staves. I like this card too, but I do wish the hobbits all together were the Ten of Staves. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Where do you think this scene belongs? Because I do like it. Just wanted something better for the Ten of Staves. Oh, and just because I didn't explain it, this is Sam carrying Frodo up to the precipice so he could toss the ring into the lava to destroy it. Here we have the Page of Staves. This looks like Eowyn talking to, is it Éomer or is it their father? Okay, I think it's their father. So this is where Eowyn wants to fight, but her father says no. does give a little bit of page energy. It's similar to when Faramir is addressing his father. So similar energy. We have the Knight of Staves. This is Legolas and Gimli talking to Éomer. Talking. Yeah, I just don't think the knights are my thing in this, but there is at least more of that fire energy going on. Here we have the Queen of Staves. This is Luthien. I definitely don't know who the kings and queens are in most of these. So the king here is Baron. Again, standard. All right, we're getting into swords, which is the last suit. This looks more purpley. Let me see if I can show you the difference here. So there's a warmth there between the two different cards. This has more of a purple hue, and this one is more like a gray, greenish hue. We have the Ace of Swords. This is the Sword of Aragorn. And then the Two of Swords. This is when Arwen is trying to decide whether to leave Middle-earth or not. Done in the classic Rider-Waite style. Oh my gosh, I love this. This is the Three of Swords. This is when Gimli discovers that Balin and basically everybody in Khazad Doom have all been killed off. His entire family and clan are dead, and I just think this is probably one of my favorite cards, along with the Lovers. So this is the Four of Swords. This is where the army of the dead is finally freed. I like that. I wasn't sure about this at first glance, but I like this because this is basically the army of the dead being able to lay to rest. Five of Swords. This one is an obscure one. So this is where the hobbits end up at the Dead Marshes, and I get it. I get the Five of Swords energy a little bit, but it's not my favorite. Not my favorite card. Ooh, we have the Six of Swords. This is where Merry and Pippin find safe travel atop the Ents. So I assume this is the same Ent as before. It looks the same, just without his little hermit lantern. But I do like it. I think it's a really cool scene. Seven of Swords. Oh yeah, this is Wormtongue. Basically, let's see, what is he doing? I mean, okay, so it just says Grima Wormtongue is lying and cheating to get ahead. And that's exactly what the Seven of Swords is about. He very much suits that card. Here we have the Eight of Swords. This depicts Frodo being tested in Mount Doom. So this is where he has to decide whether he's actually going to toss the ring in or not. I kind of get that Eight of Swords-ish moment. I get it in the sense of feeling like trapped or isolated because this is a decision that he had to do on his own, and he left Sam behind to do it. Not very far behind, but still behind. The Nine of Swords. This makes sense because Denethor does give me that Nine of Swords energy. Because a lot of the issues he created himself. He really could have avoided half of the struggles that he had. So yeah, this is very much him, and I think this is the scene where he is basically about to light Faramir on fire because he thinks he's dead. but Faramir is just badly wounded. So yeah, I like that for the Nine of Swords. Here we have the Ten of Swords. This is the ring being destroyed. And I like that as the Ten of Swords because, you know, the ring is finally being destroyed, which is a good thing, but at the end of it, there's still so much loss and despair that happened to get to this point. The Page of Swords is the beacons are lit. This is the beacons of Gondor. You know, the Gondor calls for aid scene. I get a little bit of, I get the page energy here with the idea of there being messages, but the swords, maybe a little bit because they're calling for aid to fight. I think I gotta take it literally. So this is the only card that very closely depicts an Uruk-hai. There are no orcs actively depicted in this, which is so interesting. But this is the Knight of Swords. And I guess I can see that. I don't know why they picked an Uruk-hai for the Knight of Swords, but not for anything else. Here is the Queen of Swords, and this is our lovely Queen Galadriel. And then this is the King. This is Celeborn. Celeborn was so weird in the movies, but I really liked him. All right, so that was the flip through. I'm going to go move the camera and we'll talk about the cards. So you can see that the cards have a little bit of a sheen. They actually remind me a lot of my Game of Thrones tarot. It has a similar card stock. The edges, you can just lightly see the color differentiation, but otherwise the edges are just plain. There's really no frills about them. But it does have a nice bend, not too stiff, not too anything else, but the size of the cards are really nice. So I'm not sure if I will only use these upright or not, but let's do a quick shuffle test. That actually shuffled really well. Let's do one more. I am a rifle shuffler. I have tiny hands though, so that card popped out, but it always takes me a minute to get used to a new deck. Let's see, overhand is pretty easy. The cards are a little on the light side, but you know, if you switch from a really stiff deck to this deck, you might accidentally like bend it as you're overhand shuffling, but nothing too crazy. If you like to read jumpers, I think this deck could be a nice jumper type deck for you. The cards don't stick together at all. And you can see that if you are a fanner, it fans well. Even if you don't get a good fan the first time, you can adjust. And I think it does well taking to the shuffling. If you're a rifle shuffler, the cards are always going to bend. You just kind of have to suck it up, buttercup, because that's just what's going to happen. But I really like this deck. If you enjoyed this talk through style flip through, comment below and let me know, because this was a little new to me, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like this video, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to tap that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Bye.